The human warship Defiance drifted silently through the vast field of debris. Captain June Kim stood on the bridge, his face lit by the glow of the main screen. His dark eyes moved across the wreckage that was once the Galactic Union's Third Fleet. "Damage report," he said, his voice steady despite the battle they had just survived. Lieutenant Hyun Park looked up from her station. "Hull integrity at 78%, Captain. Main weapons still operational. Engine 3 needs repairs. But we can move if needed." June nodded. 17 alien warships against one human vessel. The aliens had come expecting an easy victory. They had found something else entirely. "Any sign of survivors?" he asked. "2 life pods detected," said Communications Officer Day Lee. "They're sending distress signals to any Union ships in range." June walked to the large window that curved around the front of the bridge. Pieces of the alien fleet floated by, twisted metal and broken ships that had been state-of-the-art just hours ago. "Pick them up," he ordered. Several crew members turned to look at him in surprise. "Sir?" Tactical Officer Ji Woo-yoon questioned. "They tried to destroy us. And we will show them we are not the monsters they think we are," June replied firmly. "Bring them aboard, full security protocols." As the rescue team departed, June turned to Hyun. "What have you learned from their data systems?" Hyun's fingers moved quickly across her screen. "A lot, Captain. And none of it good." She projected a star map onto the main screen. "The Galactic Union has been watching Earth for decades. This wasn't a chance meeting. They've been planning an invasion." The bridge fell silent. Earth had only recently developed faster-than-light travel. The Defiance was their first deep space warship, sent to explore beyond their solar system. First, contact with the Galactic Union had happened just 3 weeks ago, and it had gone badly from the start. "How many ships in their main fleet?" June asked. "Thousands," Hyun said quietly. "The Third Fleet was just their advance team." Chief Engineer Min-ho Kang entered the bridge, his uniform stained with coolant fluid. "Captain, we've contained the damage to Engine 3. Give me 8 hours and we'll be back to full power." "You have 6, June replied. "We need to move before—" "Captain," interrupted Day. "I'm picking up a massive communication burst from across the sector. It's being sent on all frequencies." "Let's hear it," June ordered. The voice that filled the bridge spoke in the common trade language the Union used, which their translators had quickly decoded during first contact. "This is High Commander Tarok of the Galactic Union Council. As of this moment, we declare a state of war against the species known as humans and their home planet Earth. The unprovoked destruction of our peaceful Third Fleet cannot go unanswered. All Union vessels are ordered to engage and destroy any human ships on sight. Any worlds harboring humans will face similar consequences." June's jaw tightened. "Peaceful fleet? They fired on us the moment their sensors confirmed we were human." "Sir," said Hyun, "they don't know we hacked their systems. They don't realize we know about their invasion plans." The rescue team returned with 2 alien survivors, a tall, blue-skinned officer with 4 arms, and a smaller green-skinned technician with large, dark eyes. Both looked terrified as security guided them onto the bridge. June approached them. "I am Captain June Kim of the Earthship Defiance. You are safe here and will be treated according to galactic laws of war." The blue officer stared in disbelief. "You speak our language?" "We learned quickly," June said. "What is your name and rank?" "Sub-Commander Krell, 3rd Union Fleet," the alien answered stiffly. "I demand to be returned to Union space immediately." June smiled. "In time. First, I want to understand why your fleet attacked us without warning or provocation." "We had orders," Krell said. "All human vessels are to be destroyed on sight." "Orders from before we even met," June pointed out. "Why does the Union fear humans so much?" The green technician spoke up, his voice shaking. "The predictions. The Council ran simulations of what would happen if humans joined the galactic community. Every outcome showed humans dominating within a century," Krell hissed. "Silence, mech. Predictions?" June asked, ignoring Krell's outburst. "Based on what data?" "Your history," Mech said. Your adaptability. Your technology develops too quickly. The Council determined humans would be a threat, so they decided to eliminate the threat before it could spread. June turned away, processing this information. The bridge crew watched him, waiting for his decision. Earth was still vulnerable, with only a small fleet of ships capable of defending it. "We have two choices," June finally said. "Return to Earth with this intelligence and risk leading the alien armada back to our homeworld, or take the fight deeper into enemy territory to buy Earth time to prepare." "Sir," Jiwoo said, "our standing orders are to return if we encounter a superior force." "And normally I would follow those orders," June replied. "But these are not normal circumstances." The door to the bridge slid open, and Commander Soo-jin, Choi, the ship's diplomatic officer, entered. She had been listening to the alien survivors in another room. "Captain," she said urgently, "there's something else you need to know. The Union isn't unified in this decision. There are members who opposed attacking humans." "How do you know this?" June asked. "The technician, Mech. He served on a council, members' personal staff before being assigned to the fleet. There's an ambassador named Do-young Lee who spoke against the war declaration." "Lee?" Jiwoo questioned. "That's a human name." "Many species in the Union have similar naming patterns," Soo-jin explained, "but Ambassador Lee represents a species that had contact with Earth centuries ago. They left human observers behind, who integrated into our society." June's eyes widened. "Are you saying there are aliens living on Earth? Have been for centuries?" "According to Mech, yes. And Lee's people have been secretly protecting Earth from Union discovery until recently." June turned to Hyun. "Can you find information about Ambassador Lee in the data we captured?" Hyun nodded and began searching. Minutes later, an image appeared, on screen. A humanoid figure with pale silver skin and almond-shaped eyes that seemed to glow from within. "Ambassador Do-young Lee," Hyun said, "representative of the El-Shuri people, the only council member who voted against the war declaration." June stared at the image, an idea forming. "Plot a course to the Proxima Nebula," he ordered. "The Proxima Nebula?" Minho questioned. "That's deeper into Union space, not toward Earth." "Exactly," June said. "According to this data, it's a neutral zone where several species oppressed by the Union have settlements. If we want allies, that's where we'll find them." "And Ambassador Lee?" Soo-jin asked. "Send a coded message on El-Shuri frequencies," Juni said. "Tell the ambassador that Earth has friends they didn't know about, and we're ready to help each other." As the crew prepared the ship for its next jump, June returned to the window. The debris of the alien fleet had been left behind, but he knew it was just the beginning. One human ship had appeared in the galaxy, one ship had survived the first battle, and now, that one ship would have to find a way to save Earth from the war it had unwittingly started. The Defiance emerged from hyperspace in a burst of blue light. The Proxima Nebula spread before them, a vast cloud of purple and blue gas that sparkled with newborn stars. Captain June Kim ordered the ship to slow as they entered the nebula's outer regions, sensors at maximum range. June ordered. "Look for any signs of habitation." Hyun Park studied her screen carefully. "The nebula is interfering with our scans, Captain, but I'm detecting artificial structures about 3 light minutes from our position." "Any ships nearby?" June asked. "None that I can see," Hyun replied. "But the nebula would make an excellent hiding place." June nodded. "Set course for those structures, but keep our weapons ready. We don't know who's friendly here yet." As the Defiance moved deeper into the nebula, the crew watched in silence. The ship's lights reflected off swirling clouds of cosmic dust and gas. After 20 minutes, they reached a clearing in the nebula where the gas thinned out. What they saw made everyone gasp. A massive space station floated before them. It looked like a wheel with spokes connecting to a central hub. Around it, smaller stations and habitats clustered together. Hundreds of small ships moved between the structures. "It's beautiful," Soo-jin Choi whispered. The diplomatic officer had never seen anything like it. "And well hidden," Jiwoo added. "The nebula blocks most long-range scans. The Union ships would have trouble finding this place. Suddenly, their communication system activated. A calm voice spoke in the Union trade language. Unknown vessel, you have entered Navarian protected space. Identify yourself immediately. June nodded to Dae Lee, who opened a channel. This is Captain June Kim of the Earthship Defiance. We come seeking allies against the Galactic Union. There was a long pause before the voice responded. Earthship? We have no record of this species joining interstellar society. We're new, June replied simply, and the Union has already declared war on us. Another pause, longer this time. Then, maintain your position, Earthship. A guide vessel will escort you to Docking Bay 7. Any aggressive action will result in immediate defense measures. The communication ended. Minutes later, a sleek silver ship approached. It was smaller than the Defiance, but moved with impressive speed and control. Follow that vessel, June ordered. Minho, how are our engines? The chief engineer smiled. All repaired, Captain. We're at full power. The Defiance followed the guide ship to a large docking port on the station's outer ring. As they connected to the station, June selected his away team. Su-Jin for diplomacy, Ji-Woo for security, and Minho for technical expertise. Hyun would remain aboard to analyze the data they had stolen from the Union fleet. Be careful, Hyun said, as the team prepared to leave. We know nothing about these people. That's what makes it an adventure, Minho replied with a grin. When the airlock opened, the humans found themselves facing 6 tall, slender beings. They had pale purple skin that seemed to shimmer in the light. Their eyes were large and completely black, with no visible pupils. Each had 4 long fingers on each hand. One stepped forward. I am Elder Korra of the Navarian Collective. You claim to be at war with the Galactic Union? Su-Jin bowed respectfully. Thank you for meeting with us, Elder Korra. Yes, the Union declared war on Earth after our ship defended itself against an unprovoked attack. Korra's expression was hard to read, but her voice softened. Follow me. The Council will want to hear your story. The humans were led through wide corridors filled with beings of different species. Some looked almost human, while others were completely alien. Floating gas clouds contained in special suits, insect-like creatures that clicked and buzzed, and beings made of what looked like living crystal. How many species live here? Ji-Woo asked, amazed by the diversity. 23 at last count, Korra replied. All of us have reasons to avoid Union attention. They entered a large circular room where 12 beings sat around a table. Elder, Korra took her seat and gestured for the humans to stand in the center. These are humans from a planet called Earth, Korra announced. They claim the Union has declared war on their world. Su-Jin stepped forward. We discovered that the Union has been planning to invade Earth for some time. When our ship encountered their fleet, they attacked without warning. We defended ourselves and we won. Murmurs spread around the table. One being, who seemed to be made of blue stone, spoke in a deep, rumbling voice. One ship defeated a Union fleet? Impossible. The third fleet, Ji-Woo clarified. 17 warships, we have proof. She activated a small device that displayed holographic images of the battle. The council members watched in silence as the Defiance maneuvered with impossible speed, its weapons cutting through Union shields as if they weren't there. Human technology is unexpected, Korra said when the recording ended. But why come here? Why not return to your homeworld? June explained about the invasion plans they had discovered and their need to find allies. As he spoke, he noticed how the council members exchanged looks. You're not the only ones with grievances against the Union, Korra finally said. The Navarians were once part of the Union. We left when they demanded we share all our technology. When we refused, they attacked our homeworld. The same happened to my people, said a small bird-like being. The Union claims to bring peace and cooperation, but they take whatever they want and crush those who resist. Minho had been quiet, studying the station's design. Now he spoke up. Your technology is different from the Union's. More advanced? In some ways. Korra nodded. We have developed along different paths. The Union focuses on weapons and control, We focus on sustainability and harmony with space itself. Before they could continue, alarms began to sound throughout the station. A Navarian rushed into the council chamber. Union scout ships have entered the nebula, the messenger announced. 3 vessels, moving toward the station. The council erupted in worried discussion. June turned to Cora. They must have tracked us here. We'll return to our ship and lead them away. No, Cora said firmly. If you leave now, they will simply follow and return with a larger force later. They now know of this place. Then what? Do you suggest? Sujin asked. We have defenses, Cora replied. But we have avoided direct conflict with the Union for decades. June looked at his crew, then back to Cora. Let us help. Together we can drive them back. This would mean openly opposing the Union, the stone being rumbled. It would mean war. The Union already considers you enemies, Jiwoo pointed out. They just haven't found you yet. Now they have. The station shook suddenly and lights flickered. A voice came over the station's communication system. Union vessels have opened fire on outer sensor arrays. They are demanding we surrender the human ship and all humans aboard. Cora stood, her decision made. Activate station defenses, and... She looked at June. We accept your offer of assistance, Captain. As they rushed back to the Defiance, Minho looked at the station systems with new appreciation. Their technology could complement ours perfectly. If we work together, first we survive this attack, June interrupted. Then we talk about alliances. The humans reached their ship and quickly prepared for battle. As the Defiance disconnected from the station, Hyun reported what she had learned. Captain, I've been analyzing the Union data. These people, the Navarians and the others, they've been forming an underground resistance against the Union for years. They just lack the military strength to fight back. June smiled as he settled into his command chair. Well, now they have us. The Defiance moved out from the station, its weapons powering up as it headed toward the 3 Union scout ships. Behind them, hidden weapons platforms around the Navarian station activated, ready to join the fight. One human ship had appeared in the galaxy. And now, that ship was about to show the Union that humanity would not fight alone. Enemy ships approaching, Captain, Hyun reported from her station. 3 Union scout vessels heavily armed for their size. The Defiance moved away from the Navarian station, drawing the Union ship's attention. Captain June Kim watched the tactical display as the enemy vessels adjusted their course to follow. They're taking the bait, Jiwoo said. Moving away from the station to pursue us. June nodded. Good. Weapons status? All systems ready, Jiwoo replied. But Captain, these scouts will have already sent our location back to Union Command. Then we need to make sure no one's left to confirm the details, June said firmly. Day, open a channel to Elder Cora. The Navarian leader's face appeared on screen. Her large black eyes reflected the light of her command center. Captain Kim, our defense platforms are ready, she said. But we have never tested them in actual combat. Follow our lead, June instructed. When the Union ships pass between your station and the large gas cloud to your north, activate your weapons. We'll hit them from the other side. Cora nodded, and the screen went dark. June turned to his crew. This is our first coordinated action with potential allies, he said. Let's show them what humans can do. The Defiance accelerated, then made a sharp turn behind a small asteroid. The Union scout ships followed, their weapons firing and missing as the human ship maneuvered with surprising agility. They're entering the target zone, Hyun announced. Now, June ordered. The Defiance emerged from behind the asteroid and fired, all forward weapons. At the same moment, hidden platforms around the Navarian station lit up, sending powerful energy beams toward the Union ships. Caught in the crossfire, 2 of the scout ships exploded immediately. The third tried to escape but took heavy damage to its engines. The last ship is disabled, Jiwoo reported with satisfaction. Bring us alongside, June ordered. Prepare to board. Minutes later, June led a boarding team onto the crippled Union vessel. They found the crew in disarray, many injured from the attack. The ship's captain, a reptilian being with scales that shifted colors with his emotions, stood defiantly on his bridge. "You have violated Union space," he hissed, his scales turning bright red. "The full might of our forces will descend upon this sector." "Your ship fired first," June reminded him. "We defended ourselves." The Union captain's scales darkened. "It doesn't matter. Admiral Zhen has been given command of the Hunter fleet. 50 warships with orders to find and destroy your vessel at any cost." June kept his face calm, though the news was troubling. "And who is Admiral Zhen?" "The greatest military commander in 3 centuries, the captain said with pride. "His fleet has never failed a mission." After securing the Union prisoners, June returned to the Defiance. In the briefing room, he met with his officers and Elder Cora, who had come aboard to discuss their next steps. "This Admiral Zhen sounds formidable," Sujin said. 50 ships is a serious problem," Jiwoo added. "We can't fight them directly." Cora nodded in agreement. "The Union Hunter fleet is legendary for their persistence. They will not stop until they find you." "Then we don't let them find us," June replied. "At least not until we're ready." He turned to the tactical display and pointed to various locations across the star map. "We need to buy Earth time to prepare," he continued. "That means keeping the Union busy out here, away from our home planet." Jiwoo studied the map, then smiled as she understood June's thinking. "Guerrilla tactics, hit their supply lines and communication hubs. Avoid direct confrontation with the main fleet." "Exactly," June confirmed. "If we can disrupt their operations enough, they'll have to divert ships from the Hunter fleet to protect their infrastructure." Cora looked thoughtful. "My people are not warriors, Captain Kim, but we have ships that are fast and difficult to detect. They could help with such tactics. And I might have some ideas to improve their effectiveness," Minho added excitedly. "The Navarian phase shift technology could be adapted to enhance our weapons systems." For the next 3 days, the Defiance remained at the Navarian station. Minho worked with Navarian scientists to enhance their weapons and defenses. Jiwoo developed tactical plans with input from species who knew Union patrol routes and weaknesses. Meanwhile, Sujin established communication with Earth using a secure channel provided by the Navarians. The news from home was both encouraging and concerning. "The United Earth Defense Council has received our intelligence about the invasion," Sujin reported to June. "Admiral Han Song is mobilizing our fleet." "How many ships?" June asked. 27 combat-ready vessels with advanced drives," Sujin replied. "Plus another 40 that can fight but can't leave our solar system." June did the math quickly. Earth was outnumbered at least 10 to 1. "Did you send them the technical data we gathered from the Union ships?" he asked. Sujin nodded. "And Minho's preliminary work with the Navarian scientists. Earth's engineers are already working to implement the improvements." On the 4th day, their preparations were interrupted by an alert from the Navarian long-range sensors. 5 Union warships have entered the sector, Cora informed them. They appear to be an advanced scout for Admiral Zhen's fleet. Time to test our new tactics, June decided. Hours later, the Defiance departed the station, accompanied by 3 small Navarian vessels equipped with Minho's modified weapons. Instead of heading away from the incoming Union ships, they set course directly toward them. "The Union expects us to run and hide," June explained to his crew. "We'll do the opposite." Using the Navarian ship's stealth technology, the small fleet approached a Union communication relay near the edge of the sector. The relay was lightly defended, with only 2 patrol ships guarding it. "Begin the attack," June ordered. The Defiance dropped out of stealth mode directly behind one patrol ship and fired. The Union vessel was destroyed before it could raise shields. The second patrol ship turned to fight but found itself surrounded by the Navarian vessels, which were nearly invisible to Union sensors. Within minutes, the relay was defenseless. The Defiance moved alongside it, and Minho led a team to hack into its systems. "I've accessed their communication network," Minho reported proudly. "We can now monitor Union fleet movements across this entire quadrant. And send false information," Jiwoo added with a smile. Their victory was short-lived. As they were preparing to leave, Hyun detected a new threat. "Captain, Large energy signatures detected. 10 Union warships just entered the system. It's a trap, Jiwoo realized. They let us take the relay to draw us out. Evasive maneuvers, June ordered calmly. All ships, activate stealth systems and scatter. Rendezvous at Point Alpha in 6 hours. As the Defiance and its allies disappeared, into the vastness of space a new Union command ship arrived. On its bridge stood Admiral Zhen, a tall, imposing figure with cybernetic implants visible on his face and arms. The human ship was here, one of his officers reported. But they escaped using some kind of advanced stealth technology. Admiral Zhen's expression remained cold. They are clever, these humans, but no one escapes the hunter fleet forever. He studied the tactical display, noting the destroyed patrol ships and the damaged relay. They're using hit-and-run tactics, he observed, striking our infrastructure rather than engaging our warships directly. A cowardly approach, his second-in-command commented. No, Zhen corrected. A smart one. They're forcing us to spread our forces thin to protect our installations. He smiled for the first time, though there was no warmth in it. But now I understand how they think, and I will use that knowledge to destroy them. Back on the Defiance, safely hidden in an asteroid field, June received reports from the Navarian vessels. All had escaped without damage. It was close, Sujin said quietly. Too close. But we gained valuable intelligence, June replied. And now we know what we're facing. He looked at the star chart where 50 red dots represented Admiral Zhen's hunter fleet, now spreading out to search for them. The real hunt has begun, he said, and we need to be the hunters, not the hunted. 6 months had passed since the first battle between the Defiance and the Union fleet. Captain June Kim stood in front of the main viewport, looking at the stars. His uniform was worn, and new lines had appeared on his face from the stress of constant fighting and running. Captain, Hyun called from her station. I'm receiving the latest Union propaganda broadcast. Let's hear it, June said, turning away from the viewport. A voice filled the bridge, speaking in the Union trade language. Citizens of the Galactic Union are warned to remain vigilant against the human threat. These barbaric creatures continue to attack peaceful Union installations without provocation. Their main vessel, identified as Defiance, has been responsible for destruction across 7 sectors. Jiwoo laughed. Peaceful installations? They mean military bases and weapons factories. The broadcast continued. Any information leading to the capture of human vessels or personnel will be rewarded generously. Remember, humans are dangerous and should not be approached. They make us sound like monsters, Sujin said with a frown. They need to, June replied. Otherwise, their people might start asking why a single ship has been able to evade their mighty fleet for so long. Over the past 6 months, the Defiance had led a successful campaign against Union infrastructure. With help from their Navarian allies and other species who had joined their cause, they had destroyed 23 military targets and disrupted supply lines across multiple sectors. More importantly, they had established a network of informants throughout Union space. These beings, tired of Union oppression, provided crucial intelligence about fleet movements and weaknesses. Minho entered the bridge, looking tired but excited. Captain, I've done it. The integration of Navarian phase shift technology with our weapon systems is complete. Will it work? June asked. In theory, yes, Minho replied. Their weapons can't hit what they can't detect, and their shields can't block what they can't see coming. June was about to respond when Day interrupted. Captain, priority message from Elder Korra. Korra's face appeared on screen. The Navarian leader looked concerned. Captain Kim, we've received troubling news. The Union's propaganda is backfiring. What do you mean? June asked. Records of your conduct during this conflict have spread throughout Union space, Korra explained. Your practice of sparing civilian ships, offering surrender terms to military vessels, and avoiding populated areas has created sympathy for humans among many Union citizens. That's good news, isn't it? Sujin asked. Yes and no, Korra replied. The Council has responded by increasing security and imposing harsh punishments on anyone speaking positively about humans. But there's more. We've received word that Ambassador Du Young Lee has been branded a traitor. June leaned forward. The El Shuri ambassador who opposed the war? Yes. She escaped an assassination attempt 3 days ago. Her current location is unknown, but she's requesting asylum with your ship. If we can find her, we'll bring her aboard, June promised. One more thing, Cora added. Admiral Zhen has changed tactics. He's no longer trying to cover the entire region with his fleet. He's concentrating his forces near the Cygnus black hole. After the communication ended, the bridge crew looked to June for direction. Why would Zhen focus on the Cygnus black hole? Ji-woo wondered. There's nothing valuable there. Hyun studied her star charts, then looked up with sudden understanding. It's between us and Earth. If we try to return home, we'd have to pass near it. He's trying to cut us off, June realized. Force us into a confrontation on his terms. What's our next move, Captain? Soo-jin asked. June thought for a moment. We need to find Ambassador Lee first. Her knowledge of Union politics could be valuable. Then we deal with Admiral Zhen. Using their network of informants, the Defiance discovered that Ambassador Lee was hiding on a small trading station in a neutral system. The station was operated by a species called the Vex, known for their strict neutrality and dislike for the Union. The Defiance approached the station carefully, escorted by 2 Navarian vessels. As they docked, June prepared to lead the team to find the ambassador. Captain, Hyun called urgently. Union signatures detected. 3 warships just entered the system. How did they find us? Ji-woo asked, checking the tactical display. They must be tracking the ambassador, June guessed. Everyone to battle stations. Soo-jin, you're with me. We need to find Ambassador Lee quickly. As the Defiance prepared for possible combat, June and Soo-jin hurried through the crowded trading station. Beings of all species moved about, trading goods and information. How will we find her? Soo-jin asked. We don't even know what El Shuri looked like up close. She'll find us, June replied. We're the only humans here. He was right. They had barely reached the central market when a hooded figure approached them. Captain Kim, a soft voice said. I am Du Young Lee. The ambassador lowered her hood, revealing delicate silver features and glowing eyes. She was tall and slender, with an elegance that seemed almost ethereal. Ambassador, we need to leave immediately, June said. Union ships have entered the system. Du Young nodded. I feared as much. They've been hunting me since I spoke against the war in the council chambers. As they hurried back toward the docking bay, the station shook violently. Red emergency lights began to flash. The Union ships are firing on the station, Soo-jin exclaimed in horror. They would risk neutral territory just to get to us. June asked. The Union Council is desperate, Du Young explained as they ran. Your success has created fractures within their alliance. 3 major species are threatening to withdraw their membership. When they reached the Defiance, they found the ship already engaging the Union vessels. The Navarian escorts were using their stealth technology to confuse the enemy targeting systems. Get us out of here, June ordered as soon as they were aboard. Head for the rendezvous point. What about the station? Soo-jin asked, concerned for the innocent beings aboard. The Vex have powerful defensive systems, Du Young assured her. They'll survive, but they will no longer remain neutral after this attack. As the Defiance broke away from the station, one of the Union ships pursued them. The others stayed behind, continuing to fire on the station. They're not just after us, June realized with anger. They're punishing anyone who might help us. Minho, is the new weapon system ready? He asked over the comm. As ready as it will ever be, Captain, the engineer replied. Then let's test it, June ordered. Target the pursuing Union ship. The Defiance suddenly changed course, turning to face its pursuer. The Union vessel, surprised by this move, hesitated for a crucial moment. Phase shift weapons active, Ji-woo reported. Firing. There was no visible beam, no explosion of energy. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the Union ship's shields flickered and died. A second later, its engines went dark. Direct hit, Ji-woo announced. Their power systems are disabled. The phase shift energy passed right through their shields, Minho explained proudly. Just as we hoped. With the immediate threat neutralized, the Defiance moved back toward the station. The remaining Union ships, seeing what had happened to their companion, quickly retreated. Later, with Ambassador Lee safely aboard, June called a meeting with his officers and their new guest. "Your ship's reputation grows by the day, Captain," Du Young said. "What you just demonstrated will send shockwaves through Union Command." "We need to send a message," June replied. "That attacking innocent civilians will not be tolerated." "What's our next move?" Jiwoo asked. June looked at the star map, his eyes focusing on the Cygnus black hole region. "Admiral Jen wants a confrontation," he said. "I think it's time we give him one, but on our terms." Du Young studied him carefully. "The Hunter fleet has 50 ships, Captain. Even with your new weapons, those are impossible odds." "Not if we have help," June replied with a smile. "Ambassador, how many species within the Union would join us if they had the courage and the means?" "Many," Du Young admitted. "The tyranny of the Council has created many enemies." "Then let's give them the opportunity," June said. "It's time to turn this from a hunt into a revolution." The space around the Cygnus black hole was normally empty. Most ships avoided the dangerous gravitational pull of the massive object. But today the region was filled with vessels. On one side, Admiral Jen's Hunter fleet of 50 Union warships formed a tight formation. On the other side, the Defiance led a mixed group of 30 ships, Navarian vessels, ships from other formerly neutral species, and even a few that had defected from the Union. Captain June Kim stood on the bridge of the Defiance, looking at the tactical display. The past month had been busy. With Ambassador Du Young's help, they had contacted resistance groups throughout Union space. Many had been waiting for a chance to fight back. "All ships report ready, Captain," Jiwoo announced. "Phase shift weapons are charged and targeting systems are locked." "The Union fleet is moving into attack position," Hyun added. "They're spreading out to surround us." June nodded. "They still think they have the advantage. They don't know about our new weapons. Or our other surprise," Minho said with a grin. Sujin approached June, looking concerned. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from Admiral Jen's flagship." "Put it through," June ordered. Admiral Jen's face appeared on the main screen. His cybernetic implants glinted in the light of his bridge, and his expression was one of cold confidence. "Captain Kim," Jen said, "I must admit, you've led me on an impressive chase, but it ends today." "It does indeed, Admiral," June agreed, "but perhaps not how you imagine." Jen smiled without warmth. "Look at the reality, human. I have 50 of the most powerful warships in the galaxy. You have the Defiance and a collection of, what, traitors and refugees?" "You see only what you expect to see, Admiral," June replied calmly. "That has been the Union's mistake from the beginning." Before Jen could respond, June cut the transmission. He turned to his crew. "Begin the operation." The Defiance moved forward, seemingly alone, while the rest of their fleet held position. It looked like a suicide run. "They're taking the bait," Jiwoo reported. 10 Union ships are breaking formation to intercept us." "Activate phase shift systems," June ordered. Minho's modifications began to work. The Defiance seemed to flicker and blur from the perspective of the Union ships. Their targeting systems couldn't lock on properly. "Phase shift weapons online," Jiwoo announced. "Firing." The Defiance fired at the closest Union ships. The invisible energy passed through their shields and disrupted their power systems. 3 Union vessels went dark immediately, drifting in space. "Now," June commanded. The rest of the Allied fleet surged forward, each ship equipped with the same phase shift technology. They moved through the Union formation, firing at will. Union ships could not target them effectively, while their own shields offered no protection against the phase shift weapons. On his flagship, Admiral Jen watched in disbelief as his carefully organized fleet fell into chaos. "Impossible," he muttered. "Their weapons, they're passing right through our shields." "Admiral," one of his officers called out, We're detecting new ships entering the battle. From the far side of the black hole, 20 more ships appeared. They were Earth vessels, led by the flagship commanded by Admiral Han Song. "This is Admiral Han Song of Earth," a new voice announced across all communication channels. "All Union vessels, power down your weapons or be destroyed." Admiral Jen's face darkened with rage. "The Earth fleet here? How?" On the Defiance, June smiled. "The message we sent a month ago got through. Earth has been preparing." The battle turned decisively. Caught between the Defiance's allies and the Earth fleet, the Union ships began to surrender one by one. Admiral Jen's flagship fought on, even as ships around it went dark or retreated. "Target the Admiral's flagship," June ordered. "Disable it, but try not to destroy it." The Defiance moved into position, evading the desperate fire from Jen's vessel. With a precise shot, they knocked out the flagship's engines and weapon systems. "Admiral Jen's ship is disabled," Jiwoo reported. "They're no longer a threat." "Prepare. A boarding team," June said. "I want to meet the Admiral face to face." Hours later, Admiral Jen stood in the Defiance's briefing room, a prisoner but still proud. His cybernetic eye glowed red as he glared at June. "You've won a battle, human," Jen said bitterly. "But the Union will never surrender to your kind." "I don't want the Union's surrender," June replied. "I want the truth to be known." He nodded to Hyun, who activated a screen showing data they had collected over the past months. "We know why the Union Council really ordered the attack on Earth," June continued. "Lieutenant Hyun, please explain what you found." Hyun stepped forward. "The original conflict was engineered by a faction within the Union led by High Commander Tarak. They discovered that humans have unique biological properties not found in any other species in the galaxy." Admiral Jen's organic eye widened slightly, but he said nothing. "They plan to harvest these properties from human subjects," Hyun continued. "But they needed a justification for invasion, so they created false reports about human aggression and convinced the Council that Earth posed a threat." "Lies," Jen muttered, but without conviction. Ambassador Du Young entered the room. "Not lies, Admiral. I saw the reports myself before I fled the Council. That's why I opposed the war from the beginning." June looked directly at Jen. "We're sending you back to Union space with an offer of peace, and with evidence of what your leaders have done." "Why would you let me go?" Jen asked, suspicious. "Because killing you would only reinforce the Union's propaganda," June explained. "But if you return with the truth, it might prevent more needless death." 2 weeks later, the Defiance led a fleet of 30 human and allied ships to the Union capital. They were met not by warships but by a diplomatic delegation. The Union was in chaos. 7 major species had withdrawn their membership after learning the truth about the Council's deception. High Commander Tarak had attempted one final attack during peace negotiations, but was stopped by his own security forces. In a large hall, filled with representatives from dozens of worlds, Captain June Kim and Admiral Han Song stood together, facing the remains of the Union Council. "The war is over," the new council leader announced. "The Union recognizes Earth as a sovereign world with all rights and protections under galactic law." "And the other terms?" Admiral Han asked. "Agreed," the leader replied. "A new interstellar alliance will be formed, based on mutual defense and technological exchange. No more forced assimilation or tribute." As the formal documents were signed, June stepped away to a large window overlooking the capital city. Soo-jin joined him there. 1 year, she said quietly. "It's been exactly 1 year since we first encountered the Union fleet." June nodded. "One human ship appeared and started a war with the galaxy. And ended it," Soo-jin added with a smile. Later, as the Defiance prepared for its journey home, June took a final look at the fleet gathered around them. Ships from 23 species, former enemies and new allies alike, had come for the inaugural ceremony of what was being called the Galactic Confederation. "Captain," Day called from his station, "we're receiving messages from all the allied ships. They're wishing us safe travels." "Send them our thanks," June replied, "and our promise that Earth will stand with them if they ever need us." As the Defiance broke orbit and set course for home, June thought about how much had changed. One ship, one crew had altered the course of galactic history. "Course for Earth laid in, Captain," Hyun reported. "Estimated arrival in 2 weeks." "Take us home," June ordered. The Defiance accelerated to light speed, leaving behind a transformed galaxy that would never again underestimate humanity. In his quarters that night, June looked at an old image of Earth taken from space, a blue and green jewel against the blackness. Soon he would see it again in person. But the galaxy he was returning to was very different from the one he had left. One human ship had appeared. One ship had started a war. And one ship had brought a new kind of peace to the stars.